Hello Chicagoland. This is Martin Sloan with ChicagoMortgageProfessional.com and Open Mortgage. I have put together another quick video to help first-time homebuyers in Chicago and the suburbs learn more about the home finance process. In this video, we will cover what documentation you will expect to be able to provide when you wind your way through the mortgage process. To help you become an informed consumer, we will cover three basic categories of income, assets, and other information that will be needed by your lender and the underwriting department to get your file pushed through. Let's begin. Income. As an overview, lenders want to see a minimum of 2 years of employment history for anybody that is applying for a mortgage. More specifically, if you work as an hourly or salaried employee, you will need to show a couple of different things. The first is 30 days of pay stubs. This will be the case whether you are paid weekly, every 2 weeks, or monthly. You will also need to show the last 2 years of W-2s and signed federal returns for all companies for which you have worked. If you have Illinois tax returns, hang on to them, as lenders are only looking for the federal ones. You will want to be able to provide dates of employment as well as contact information for each of those companies. If you have the last pay stubs that you received from past employers, that would be good as well, as they will break down commissions, etc., for example. If you have worked for a company that has closed its doors, and companies do this, provide as much information as you can about that situation. If you are on some type of fixed income, such as Social Security or permanent disability, you may include that income as well, as long as it is expected to last a minimum of 3 years. The same holds true with alimony or child support, though if you want to exclude those sources of income, you are able to do that as well. Self-employed borrowers will want to provide the last 2 years of federal tax returns, including all schedules. You will also want to provide a current profit and loss statement to show activity in the business since your last tax returns. If you have been self-employed for less than 2 years, provide income documentation for the period from 2 years ago up until the point where you became self-employed. Assets. Of all the documentation that is required to apply for a mortgage, the ones that most borrowers have questions about revolve around assets, as in what can be used as assets and what do I need to show. First, assets that you will need for a down payment and closing costs are going to need to be considered liquid, meaning that coming from checking and savings accounts or some other type of account that can be turned into cash. Funds from retirement accounts, whether an employer plan, 401k, or IRA, can be used providing you are able to access them via either a loan or a straight withdrawal. Keep in mind that if you are taking the funds as a loan, the repayment of the loan back into the plan may be considered income and may impact your debt ratios. People often ask if they are able to list items such as cars or jewelry. While this is a good thought, these items would be unable to be used as assets. Any assets that you show, as in checking or savings accounts, must have a minimum of a 60-day history. For retirement plans, the most recent 3 months of history is a good place to start as well. All deposits into checking and savings accounts other than payroll deposits must be able to be documented. If, for example, you had some type of reimbursement check from your company and you deposited it into your account, you would want to get a copy of that deposit from the bank, as well as provide a copy of the stub that came along with the check. In some instances, you may be asked to write a letter explaining a given deposit. This has a lot of parts to it. If you have questions, please call me on this and I can provide more detail. Other types of documentation. Other information that you will be asked to provide will include your residence history for the last 2 years, including dates, addresses, and contact information for landlords. You will eventually need to have the name of your insurance agent, real estate agent, and real estate attorney if you don't already have them. If you don't have a real estate attorney, on a side note, I highly recommend that you get one, as it will probably be the best money you spend in the entire home buying process. Wrap up. Well, that's all, folks. We have covered the basics of the documentation and information that you will need when you start the mortgage process. As always, Thank you for listening, and please give me a call if I can answer questions regarding any of what was presented here. Remember that Open Mortgage has a wide variety of mortgage programs, including FHA, conventional, and VA programs, and we are ready to serve you. Please call us today.